I'm often asked, are you an exhibitionist? And, yeah, I live in an old Victorian 1880s, 1890s school building. And it was a school right up until about 30 years ago. And then it was derelict and then converted into flats. So lots of ghosts in this place here. In my particular space, I'm lucky that I've got some very nice natural light. I also am lucky enough to have a mirror here, which has done me a lot of good use in the last few months, which actually I didn't even pay for because it was left down in the hallway. I am a gay man, but I'm slightly unusual in a way in that I also have a teenage son, but because he lives in France, unfortunately, I haven't seen him since last August because of COVID, which is great sadness. One of my big hobbies actually has always been traveling. So I've been very lucky to have traveled many, many places around the world, including large parts of the US. I've been a life model for well over 20 years now. I love doing what I do. I think there's no one way of doing life modeling. I think there are as many different kinds of life model as there are life models. It's about just having something and presenting things to artists that can inspire them. Every model does it differently. I often am asked to do stuff which is Egon Schiele based, an early 20th century artist from Austria. Very contorted and I mean, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Or something that's more classical, like Michelangelo or Rodin. I'm often asked, are you an exhibitionist? And I would be honest and say that yes, I am an exhibitionist. Being an exhibitionist, I think, is a necessary condition to be a model, but it's not a sufficient condition. I think a good model has a spatial awareness, that it's a 3D awareness of how their pose projects to their audience. It's quite an innate theatrical skill. You're projecting yourself physically and almost in a weird kind of way, spiritually out into that room. I see myself as actually being a shape maker. And an image maker, and then artists can do what they want with that image and translate it into something else, morph it into something magical and wonderful. A big shock happened to us all, didn't it? Just over a year ago now. I remember I was out, as I often did, working 6 or 7 days a week. And then suddenly, in the space of 2 or 3 days, the cancellations just came in like ping, ping, ping on my phone. And so virtually overnight, I had to set up operation in this old Victorian school. And it's a very, very different experience. Obviously, for you guys as artists drawing the models, but for a model, it's very, very different as well. And especially because I'm working on my own, I have to try and set up a shot, try and fill the frame, make sure the lighting's in place and all of that. And that's quite challenging. And also mentally, I think to be a life model, you need to have quite a mental strength as well. Because you are quite vulnerable and you have, you're naked and people are looking at you and making assessments of you, aesthetic ones or otherwise.